Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining me today for Tips and Tea with Linnea FNP. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Linnea Baker and I am a board certified family nurse practitioner. I'm so excited to get to be here today to answer a question. We're going to change it up a little bit today. I had made a post and said in our health group, what's your biggest struggle in getting healthy? And I got a lot of great responses that are really common in a lot of people. And one of them was asking, why do I crave sugar? Why do I want the ice cream and the chocolate and the sweets and things? So today we're going to talk about why do we have sugar cravings? Because it's so important and it affects so many of us. And I've been there, guys, which is why I love getting to pour into you and speak to you about things that I struggled with as well. And I've been able to get to the other side of. So thanks for being here. I'm grateful for you for giving me some of your time. Got my tea ready? Let's go. So the first thing I want to share with you, I follow Sean Stevenson. He's a dietitian, nutritionist who wrote the book Eat Smarter and also wrote the book Sleep Better. And in one of the podcasts I watched of him, he says chronic nutritional deficiencies lead to chronic hunger, chronic food cravings, and chronic weight management issues. It's powerful. When we don't feed our body the nutrition it needs, we're not fueling our body with the nutrition it really needs to thrive. We have trouble where we constantly want to crave sugar. We're hungry all the time. How many of you have been hungry just all the time? You eat a meal, 30 minutes to an hour later, you're starving. I've been there. That's why I can speak on this and help you guys. So let's talk a little bit about the food industry, okay? I did not know to the extent of what happens in our food industry until I started doing the research, guys. So the food industry creates food that we crave, that we get addicted to, that we just want to eat that bag of Doritos or that tub of ice cream or those cookies or that chocolate. And how do they do this? They actually go into a lab and create what's called a bliss point. And that means they find what kind of chemical additives, sweeteners, sugar, and all the things they can put together that gets the person to the point where they are absolutely craving and wanting this food. Because the more food you eat of their product and the more you buy, the more money they make, right? I mean, that it comes down to money, honestly, which is sad because it impacts our health, but that's the world we live in. So I tell you this because when we know better, we can do better. And we can educate ourselves so that we can advocate for ourselves and our health, and we're not victim to it. So these food companies have this bliss point, and it creates, people get so frustrated. They think it's lack of willpower. And it makes my heart sad for them because it's not that you're not disciplined enough or care about yourself enough or that you don't have willpower. It's actually an addiction because the food companies are developing and creating food in a lab that tricks your brain into being addicted to it. It hits the bliss point where you want it over and over again. It hits the dopamine pathway, which is your feel-good hormone. And because that dopamine pathway gets hit and these foods are hyper palatable, they hit our taste buds in a whole different way than whole foods do. They have lots of chemicals and sugars and sweeteners and all kinds of salt and things in them, that the way it hits our dopamine pathway, it gives us such a feel-good response that we can't get that same hit of dopamine when we eat whole food. So we've become addicted to that hit of dopamine. We want more of it. Also, our body is craving, our body just craves these sugary foods and things because additionally, your body gets confused on where nutrition is coming from because it's not getting the nutrition it needs. So it keeps trying to get more food because it's trying to fill that void of lack of nutrition. So it's on multiple levels. You're getting a bliss point response from being addicted to a food because the food companies are making it that way. You're hitting a dopamine pathway response because the food at this bliss point and the way they create it creates an addiction to the food, because that dopamine feel-good hormone hit is so much larger than it would be with other types of whole foods that are nutritious for us. Okay. And then you've got your body that's not getting the nutrition it needs, trying to get the nutrition it needs and telling you need to eat more. All right. It also comes down to our microbiome, and I'm going to talk to you about that in a little bit. The other thing, when we look at our food in Europe, they restrict about 1,300 to 1,400, they might even be up to 1,600 different chemical toxin ingredients in their foods, skincare, body care, makeup, all product lines. Guess how many restrictions the United States has? I was blown away. We're up to 12 to 14, no zeros behind it. And it's even hard to find the list. 12 to 14 things that are chemical toxins that the FDA says we're not going to put in our products. We are inundated with lots of chemicals. Guys, I believe I was listening to a podcast and they said that since the Industrial Revolution, I believe there's been like over 80,000 different chemical ingredients and things that we've created, and less than 1% have been tested for safety. Our bodies, from our skin to the air we breathe, the water we drink, the food we eat, the things we put on our skin, including our makeup and our skincare products, body products, all the things, we're inundated with toxins and chemicals and things, and it's affecting our health. Okay. So that's one thing, is the bliss point. So don't think about it as lack of willpower. We really need to detox, and I'm going to talk about that. The next thing is our food culture in the United States. In the United States, we have focused on waking up and having breakfast and it being simple carbohydrates and loaded with sugars. We eat cereal, sugary cereals, pancakes, pastries, bagels. I'm a girl from New York. I grew up on bagels, so I love my bagels, but I have switched my food culture and my routine because that wasn't fueling my body and I was getting sicker. I mean, I ended up with an autoimmune disease, guys. About 60% of adults in the United States have at least one chronic illness, guys. We're getting sicker. It's the food we're eating, all the chemical toxins we're exposed to in our environment, and the most impact is the food we eat. All right. So we've normalized waking up and having all these carb-loaded sweets and things for breakfast. We've also normalized eating 5 to 6 times a day. And that kind of started around the 1980s, where we started adding in all these snacks. Guys, we're more sedentary than we've ever been. We used to work more agricultural and labor-intensive jobs where we were out in the fields and out manually working for everything. And even the foods, when we were cooking, we had to make things. Like, we couldn't just go buy the box off the shelf and microwave it or throw some water in it and have instant food. We had to make these things. So everything was more labor intensive. We were doing more. We didn't have the technology we have. Well, it's a blessing to have the technology. That's how I'm reaching you guys today. But on the flip side, we're more sedentary than we've ever been because everything's right at our fingertips. So we have to be more intentional. So when we're eating, we absolutely need protein at every meal. We even need plant-based protein is great for our gut health, okay? Eating plants, a diversity of colorful fruits and veggies. We've gotten away from that and everything is ultra processed. About 60% of the adult nutrition in a day is ultra processed foods. And for kids, it's even higher. It's at 70%, guys. But we're getting sicker. And in 2015, that was the first generation of kids born that will not outlive generations before them. We typically get longevity every year or so, every, decade. Kids are living longer than their past generations, but 2015 is the first time we see that we're losing longevity. That scares me. It shouldn't be like that. What else happens? The shelf life of foods, guys. We have foods like breads that can sit on the counter for a month. We have, if you guys ever, I remember being a kid and, we'd go to get McDonald's and the French fry that fell down in the car on the floor in the seat. And a year later or 6 months later, you'd look at that French fry and it still looks the same. That's not food because it's not decomposing. Real food decomposes, guys. It shouldn't look the same 6 months, a year later. It's because of all the chemicals and things that are in the foods. And if you're eating whole foods, whole food doesn't last that long because it doesn't have all the chemicals in it to preserve it and give it shelf life. But we're eating it in its more natural state. And that does not mean you need to eat rabbit food and a salad with protein every day, and that's all you get. This eating healthy and living healthy is so much bigger than that. And that's a misnomer too. We've been inundated with so many different fad crash diets and different ways, quick ways to lose weight. And guys, I want to stress to you, it's not about a size or a number on the scale. It's about body composition of muscle versus fat, getting the belly fat down, because we say that's the visceral fat, and that visceral fat is an active organ and affects your abdominal organs and can cause problems and create inflammation. So we want to get the belly fat down. And we do this through healthy, holistic lifestyle, not something that's sustainable. If it's not sustainable, the sad thing is you lose weight and then you gain more back, okay? And you end up doing things in an unhealthy way that don't serve your body and can create more harm. So there's a healthy way to do things, and it's not as hard as you think. It's just we're so confused on how to proceed and all these different plans and programs and ideas that get flooded at us. And we just don't know anymore. And that's why I'm here to bring you more information. We don't need to eat 5 to 6 times a day. Okay. That's not how our bodies were designed, especially as adults when we're not as active. Okay. We don't need breakfast snack, lunch snack, dinner snack. But when you're eating nutritious foods that are fueling your gut bacteria and your gut health, you don't feel hungry and you don't need to eat that much. You actually save money eating healthy and choosing a holistic and healthy lifestyle. Okay. So let's get to the microbiome. I've stated this before. Let's do a refresher. The microbiome is located in your gut, and it's made up of microbes. And microbes are the tiny living things that are around all around us. They live on and inside our body. It's bacteria, fungi, viruses, even protozoa. And these bacteria and these microbes, all right, they have a job. And their job in our body is to help with digesting foods. It impacts our metabolism. They impact hormones. They impact nutrients in our body. They make vitamins. They reduce chronic inflammation. And we talk about inflammation a lot, and I'll cover that in another, I'll do another one of those in our series just to go back and revisit it again, okay? But the microbiome consists of microbes that are good for us, and then also microbes that can be harmful or can be pathogenic. And pathogenic just means promoting disease. And when your gut is healthy, everything's in balance, and you don't have to worry about the pathogenic bacteria because you have the good gut bacteria. Everything's kind of balanced out and working together. And these bacteria, these microbes, because it's more than just bacteria that are in our gut, they actually, did you know the microbiome can weigh 5 pounds, guys? I mean, it's crazy. But we have this symbiotic relationship, meaning we're the host, and these gut bacteria, we work together to help each other. So we're their host and they're helping us. And they're actually doing things that we have found now that impact our health, like making vitamins and digesting food and impacting hormones. They even impact making neurotransmitters, like when I talked about dopamine or serotonin. The gut's the second brain. It's incredible what we're finding in the research now. And the problem is, though, when you eat the typical American Western diet, your gut is unhealthy, and we're in what's called dysbiosis. And that just means we have more of the pathogenic, unhealthy gut bacteria than we do the good gut bacteria. And that's when we start seeing chronic inflammation. It impacts our immune system. It impacts our metabolism, our weight. So what we want to do is be in a healthy gut balance. So when we're eating the typical ultra processed, high sugar American Western diet, we have an unhealthy gut, and we need to reset and detox that. Okay, guys. And we can do that. That's what I work on. And that's what I've done for myself and work on and have researched and helped clients with, because it's incredible and powerful. But your gut bacteria, whether they're unhealthy or healthy, actually have circadian rhythms, and actually will, like when you have an unhealthy gut, that unhealthy gut bacteria is craving the sugar and the things that are not good for our gut health. Okay. So you've got multiple levels of things working against you when you eat the typical American Western diet, ultra processed, loaded with sugar, loaded with chemicals. You have an unhealthy gut. Your gut is dysbiotic, meaning more of the pathogenic or disease causing bacteria than the good gut bacteria. Those bacteria are starving and telling you need to eat more sugar, you need to crave more of these unhealthy things. You also have the bliss point in the food and the dopamine hit effect, where you get this addictive cycle because that feel good hormone dopamine makes you crave it more and want it more, because other things that you're eating aren't giving you that same level of dopamine hit that these foods have been created to do. You've got the unhealthy gut bacteria telling you to eat and crave these foods and the sugars. You're devoid of nutrition, so your body's craving food because it's trying to get nutrition and it's confused on where to get it from because you're eating an ultra processed diet, which, remember, I don't judge. This is just to bring you knowledge because I've been there. I get it. And it's frustrating. And we blame ourselves and think it's because we don't have willpower. We're not disciplined. And it's not that. There's lots of things that are being stacked against us. And when we understand that, we can break through it and reset our gut health. Okay. And then the other thing is that we have, this is crazy, guys. The gut bacteria and the microbes in our body, it's about 10 cells to one human cell. So our microbiota and our microbes outnumber human cells in our body. It's pretty insane. So what I do is I help teach people how to go on a detox, to detox the sugar and ultra processed foods in their nutrition and in their diet, because when we can break away from that, we can have better control. It improves our health, it improves our gut health, we feel better, and we start losing those cravings. It's incredible because also a lot of the symptoms, like I say, your gut's your second brain. Your gut impacts your immune system, your gut impacts your metabolism, all hormones. So when you get your gut healthy, your metabolism's kicking into gear, you start feeling healthy, your clothes feel better. You, as a sidebar, you're going to lose some weight if you're kind of in that category where you need to lose a little bit of weight, or you feel like you don't feel like yourself anymore and you've gained some weight. That's a side effect of getting healthier. We don't focus on numbers on the scale, but when you're feeding your body the nutrition it needs, things start to level off. And then it's incredible because I've had people in the last couple of weeks blowing up my phone going, Linnea, that Mountain Dew I was addicted to, I tried it after 2 weeks of doing this detox and I could not believe I don't even like it. It tastes either like battery acid or it's too sweet. And they're blowing up my phone. I don't drink the soda. I don't like the taste of this anymore. I don't have the cravings for sugar anymore. And it's because we're detoxing and resetting our gut and taking back control over our health and not letting these things take over. And there's a plan and a system to walk through that I've been doing for over 3 years and working with clients on and doing the research. So guys, remember, I'm on a mission to positively impact your health and wellness through education and coaching to create generational health and a health span that equals your lifespan. I am absolutely passionate about what I get to do. And if you are interested, if you're frustrated with where you're at, if you're wanting more information, if you want a health and wellness consult with me, go ahead and comment in my comment below. You can private message me. You can also get me at my email, Linnea, L-I-N as in Nancy, N as in Nancy, E-A dash Baker, B as in boy, A-K-E-R, at live, L-I-V as in Victor, E.com. And I'd love to get to talk with you more if you're frustrated and feeling like you need help and guidance on a health journey, okay? Until next time, guys, please know that I'm so grateful for you. I hope this brought you value, and be safe until next time.